Hi, I'm Katie and I'm going to show you how to create a complete WooCommerce website for photographers. If you're a photographer, then you're quite likely to want to sell your photos in WooCommerce, but you'll notice that there are some pretty major features missing that are not available within the WooCommerce core. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to fill in those gaps and use additional plugins, which are very good, well-written plugins, to achieve those missing features. So the first feature is the ability to mass upload your photos to your WordPress media library. You don't want to be adding, after a photo shoot, hundreds of products individually. What you want is to just quickly upload all your photos in bulk from the photo shoot to the media library and then make them purchasable in WooCommerce. So I'll show you how to do that. I will also show you how to create hidden categories for each of your photography clients so that they'll see a login page a bit like this one where they can enter a password to view their hidden photos. And that way they can buy the photos on your website, but it will be secure and confidential and nobody else will see that those photos are there. And finally, once they've entered the password, I'll show you how they can see the photos in a more user-friendly way for buying photos than you would typically get with WooCommerce as it comes. So you can have your photos in a nice table-based grid like this with whatever information you want. You can choose the size of your images. Customers can click to view a larger version of each image. You can either just have simple products with one version of each, or you can sell additional options such as photo sizes or mounting options or frames or something like that via drop downs that people select a drop down, click the buy button, choose a quantity and add them to the cart. So it's a much quicker way to purchase than the typical WooCommerce layout where they have to click through to an individual product page for each product to choose these options. We're going to do this using 3 plugins. Well, it's sort of 4 plugins. One of them is Feed Them Gallery. The reason I say 3 or 4 plugins is that Feed Them Gallery Premium is the plugin that you need to bulk upload your images and convert them into WooCommerce products. You need to install the free Feed Them Gallery plugin, which is a free plugin from wordpress.org, and then you can enhance it with the Feed Them Gallery Premium plugin that you can see here. And you need this for that WooCommerce functionality. In addition to that, you want the WooCommerce product table plugin, which allows you to create this order form layout we saw a minute ago for selling your photos all on a single page, which will help to increase your sales of those photos. And the final plugin you'll need is WooCommerce password protected categories, which makes it really easy for you to create a hidden category for each of your photography customers, or perhaps for each photo shoot you can structure it however you like, so that customers can view a login page, enter their password and unlock those products where they can buy them without anybody else even knowing they exist. So now I'll tell you how to set all that up to create your complete photography website in WooCommerce. The first thing we're going to do for our photographer's website is to create a sample product which will be used as the basis of all the bulk products that you will later upload to your website. The way a sample product works is that's going to store all the default information for your product, such as the pricing and any variations and anything else like a description as well. And so you'll have a sample product, and then later on when you upload all your photo products, you will use the sample to populate that data. So if the sample product has a price of $10, for example, then when you upload all your photos into WooCommerce, they will be given that same price too. So to do that, we want to go to Products, Add New, and we're just going to create a normal product. So I'm going to call it Sample Photo Product. It's the same as any other WooCommerce product. The key thing is that we're going to use it as a sample in a minute, and I'll show you that in a minute. So if you want, you can write a description, whatever you want really. Don't upload a product image because obviously the image for each one will be the actual image which you will upload from your photo shoot. You can either leave it set to simple product and enter a price there, and then that price will be used for all the photos that you upload in a minute. Or if you prefer, you can choose a variable product And with variable products, it means that there will be multiple options for each photo which people can choose. That's a little bit more complicated, so I'll show you how to do that. First of all, to create a variable product, you need attributes. So we go to the Attributes tab. You can either create your attributes globally under the Attributes section on the left here, or if you prefer, you can just create it for this product. If you want to filter by the attributes when you create your photo order form in a minute, you need to create your attributes globally under attributes, and that will let you add filter drop downs above your photo order form so that people can quickly refine the list. I'm not going to do that for this particular example, so what I'm going to do instead is just choose custom product attribute and click add. And I'm going to write print size because I'm selling photo prints, and then separated by the vertical line I need to write the size of photos I want to sell. So let's say I'm going to sell 4x6 and then do that funny vertical line, I'm not sure what it's called, and 8x10 and 8x10. So I've written two options there. You can add as many as you want, and you can also use this drop down again and click add again to create multiple types of options. So you might want to sell by print size and mounting options, for example, framing options, that kind of thing. So you can add as many variations as you want, and by adding them to this sample product here, each of these options will then be used for your actual photos that you upload in a minute. Finally, I'm going to untick that, and I'm going to tick the use for variation box and click save attributes. So far we've created an attribute which is basically data on the product. We then need to convert that attribute into a variation. Now this is what the customer can actually select for the product to buy that option. So the easiest way to do this is select create variations from all attributes and click go. There'll be a warning message, you can ignore that, and then it will add a separate variation for each of the attributes that you created a minute ago. So as we can see, we've got a variation for 4x6 size and 8x10. So let's open that up. You can do your stock status, dimensions, whatever. I'm just going to keep it quite simple, and I'm going to add the price. So let's say the 8x10 is more expensive. So let's put two prices in, and then we click save changes. And that's all I'm going to do for my sample product, and I'm going to click publish. You can just have one sample if all of your photos for all of your clients, for all of your photo shoots, will have the same options, same prices and everything. If you want to create different ones, for example, maybe your family photography has different options and different prices from your wedding photography, that's fine. What you would do is create more than one sample product using exactly the method I've just shown you, and then when you create your photo products in a minute, you would select a different sample product depending on what type of product you're selling at that time. The next step is to create a gallery. It's a bit of a funny name because we're not actually going to be displaying our photos in a gallery in the traditional sense, but that's what the FT Gallery plugin that we're using calls it, so that's what we'll do. The purpose of the plugin we're using here, FT Gallery, is actually not to create galleries. We're using one of its less known features, which is to bulk upload your photos and automatically convert them into WooCommerce products. Because that's such a good technique for doing this, that's really helpful and saves a lot of time for photographers, that's why we're using it. So even though you're not really creating a gallery, we are behind the scenes. So first we need to make sure that FT Gallery is set up properly. The first thing to do is you go to the plugin license tab, and if you haven't done that already when you install the plugin, you need to add your license key in the box, and then you click save changes, and then there'll be an activate license button, and then it will say, as you can see here, license key active. So make sure you've activated your license key so that you can keep the plugin up to date in the future. The other thing to do is click onto the settings tab, and there's loads of settings. It's quite an advanced plugin, but most of it's not applicable because this is not how we're going to be displaying our images. We're going to be using an order form plugin to make it easier for people to buy your photos. So go straight down to the WooCommerce options section on the FT Gallery settings page. And what you want to do is click the attach products to a category named after gallery box. And what that will do is that it will create a category called the name of your gallery. So the name of your gallery will match the category, and it will put all the products within that category, which is really handy. So that will allow you to show different categories in different parts of your site if you want to do that, and so on. So I always tick that box, and you can ignore the next option because this will be overwritten anyway by the photo order form plugin that we will be using, WooCommerce product table. So we just tick that box and click Save All Changes, nice and simple. And then we're ready to actually start uploading our images. We're going to go Add Gallery, still in the FT Gallery section. And this will take us to a page where you can add a title for the gallery. You can call it whatever you want. Realistically, you'll probably call it something like the client name and the photo shoot name or something like that. So do whatever works for your internal purposes. Your customers won't necessarily see the name of the gallery, although it will be used for the category that the products are in. And so you add the name, and then you see here it says drop images here. So I'm just going to go to my computer and find, let's say 10 images, and I'm going to drag them into the box. So we've got the images and we drag them just here, and you can see they're uploading here using a handy uploader. So you can do that for as many images as you like. At this stage, they're not actually WooCommerce products, they're simply images within the media library. The next step will be to convert them into WooCommerce products. So here we have got our photos, and then we're going to click Publish to publish the gallery. And once it's published, the page will reload, and that's when you click the WooCommerce tab. You'll notice that before we do that you can see these buttons are grayed out. You can't actually convert these images to products yet, and that's because you need to go to the WooCommerce tab first to do that. So we'll click through to the WooCommerce tab, and that is where we choose our options to turn them into products. Most of them we can ignore. The key things are auto create a product for each image uploaded. You tick that box. That's really important because it means that every photo will be a separate product which your clients can purchase. And then you've got the single image model product. And what you need to do here is select a product. So you want the sample product you created a minute ago. If you have multiple sample products, you need to select the one with the pricing and variations and so on that you want to apply to this particular gallery when you create those products. So I'm going to select sample photo product, which you saw me create a minute ago. And that's it. You then click the update button, and that will save the settings for creating those products. This doesn't actually create the product. That is the next step, which I will show you how to do in a second. So we're updating the page. It seems to be thinking about it. Once that's done, we will actually turn those images into products. You can see that the gallery has reloaded on the Images tab, which is where we started, but something's changed. This button here, Create Individual Image Products, is no longer grayed out because we have chosen our WooCommerce settings. So what you do now is you tick this button, and you click on that, and you see it's thinking. What it's doing now is converting each of these 10 photos into a separate WooCommerce product with the options that we chose for the sample product. So with the price of the sample product, with the variations of the sample product. So it's used that as a basis. I clicked on the link in the success message, and you can see now that I have 10 products on top. So there's my sample product, and here I have 10 products, and they have inherited all the information from the sample product. So you can see here, for example, that the price is £10 to £20. And that is the same as the sample price. So it's sample product. So it's inherited those settings. And now we have 10 WooCommerce products which you've easily uploaded from your photo shoots. And the next step is to display them in a front end order form for your photos so that your customers can actually buy them. The next step is to display these photo products that we just created in a really neat order form layout on the front end of your website so that people can quickly select variations, see the prices, see the photos, view them in a lightbox, and then buy online using the WooCommerce checkout process. To do that, we need the WooCommerce product table plugin, which you should have installed at the start of this tutorial. Once you've done that, go to WooCommerce settings and then the products tab, and you'll see a product tables link which has been added by the plugin. You need to add your license key, which you will get from the order confirmation page and also the email that you receive after you get the plugin. And then the next thing to do is to go through the options and choose how you want your order forms to look. So you can choose your columns, and I'm going to keep it quite simple because what matters is the image and the price and the ability to buy. You probably don't want things like descriptions for selling photos. You can do, but probably not, because they're visual products. People can see the picture, they know they want it, and that's all they need. So I'm going to have a name column. And if you look at the plugin knowledge base, there's a link to it here. It will tell you all the available columns that you can choose from. So I'm going to have name, price, and add to cart. I'm also going to change the image size. By default, it's quite small, 70 by 70, but let's make it a bit bigger. Let's go for 200 by 200. It's pretty flexible and you can do whatever you like with regards to that. But most photography sites will want relatively big images. They don't need to be huge because the next option is to display images in a lightbox, and you should probably leave that ticked for sending photos because you want people to be able to click to view a bigger version of the photo. Just skip through the options. I'm just going to tell you about the options which are relevant to you. By default, it will say product links is all. I'm going to change that to none because if you're selling photos in an order form, people probably don't need to click through to the single product page to actually choose their photos and see more information. So for this type of product, I would generally write none in the links box, and that will prevent people from accessing the single product page. It's quite a good way to get more sales of your photo products because it prevents people from clicking elsewhere. They stay in the order form, which is where they buy your products. You don't want them to click away really if there's no genuine reason to do so. The next option is lazy load. Tick this if you have lots of products for a particular photo shoot. So say you've uploaded a photo shoot with 50 or 100 products or even more, tick the lazy load box, and what that will do is it will load one page worth of results at a time. So if, say, you set the rows per page option down here to 10, let's say, then the lazy load option will only load 10 products at a time. So it's a good way to improve performance by speeding it up. That's rows per page. Because I've got 10 products, I'm going to set it to 5 just to show you what happens if you have more products than will fit on that page. And there's a caching option to speed it up even further. The product limit to set the maximum that will display. So there's lots of options there. You can choose your sorting option. For add to cart column, we'll stop here for a minute. I'm going to choose checkbox. There are 3 different ways to show options for adding products to the cart, and you can just have an add to cart button, you can have a tick box, or you can have both. I'm going to choose checkbox because it's quite a good way to encourage people to buy more when you're using an order form type layout, because customers can quickly go tick, 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 tick and add them all to the cart, which is what you want. Similarly, I'm going to show quantity selectors because that encourages and allows your customers to buy more than one copy of each print. So they might select the 4x6 option for one print if you're using variations, and then they can choose as many as they want and order extra copies for their family and friends. So that's a good way to get more sales as well. For variations, if you're using variations, then you can either show as a drop-down list or you can show one variation on each row. For photos, I generally recommend a drop-down list, and that will let people click on the drop-down to view the options for that product. There's various other options which you could use to configure your order form. You can add filters above the table if you want to. I'm not going to do that, but you can do. And various other sort of minor options to just control how your table will look. And then you click Save Changes. Okay, that was quite a lot there, but that has basically chosen all the main settings for your order form page. And it's really important and worth spending a little bit of time on, because that is going to encourage people to buy more from you and make it a more user-friendly way of displaying your photos. There are two ways to actually add the order form to the website. One option is to add it to a normal page, and which is what I'm going to do now because it's the simplest option. But if you look in the plugin knowledge base, then you'll also see instructions for how to automatically use the order form layout on all of your category pages. If you want to create hidden categories for each of your clients, you'll need to use that other method. But to keep the tutorial a reasonable length, I'll show you the quickest method now. So let's call this photo order form. So I've created a page, page is add new, added the title, and now I want to add a product table to that page. So you'll see here there's a toolbar button, and when you hover over it, it says insert product table. So I'm going to do that. And it's added this shortcode product_table. If you just save your page now, it will display all your products in a single order form, which is fine. I'm just going to show you how to add a specific category only. So I'm going to go to products categories, and I'm just going to get the name of my category so I know what I'm doing. Right, I happen to know it's called My Gallery, so I'm just going to do a quick search. Right, so the slug of the category, you can see here on the products categories page, is My Gallery. So that's what I need. I'm going to copy that, go back to my product table shortcode that I just added, and I'm going to write category equals, and within quotation marks, I'm going to paste My Gallery, which is the category slug that I just created. And then I'm going to publish the page, and then I'm going to view it. So let's have a look. So here we've got my order form page. You'll see that I made a fairly silly mistake, which is that I forgot to add an image column. Given that you're selling photos, you're going to want an image column. So it just shows you create your order form and then you tweak it to make it how you want. So I'm going to go back to WooCommerce, settings, products, product tables. And you'll also have noticed the name column, not much use. Most people who use this plugin will use the name column because most products have a fairly descriptive name. If your photos have a descriptive name, then fine. This was taken, and these numbers, from the file name when you uploaded them to the Feed Gallery plugin. But in this case, I've just used numbers, which is totally not relevant. So what I'm going to do is go back to the columns, and I'm going to replace name with image. So let's go down again now and click Save Changes. And then we're going to refresh our order form page. This looks more like a suitable way to sell photos now, as you can see. So now we've got an image which is 200 pixels square, just like I selected a minute ago. If I click on the image, it will open it in a light box. It would be bigger, it's just that that's the size of the image I uploaded. But if you want a bigger image, you can upload one. So people can see the photo, decide they want it. They can then select a variation. The price for that variation will appear underneath. They can tick buy. They can select another variation. They can choose quantities, and they can add them to the cart. We also, as you can see, have various filters here. That is added via appearance widgets, or you can make your page full width if you prefer, to allow more space to showcase your photos in this order form layout. So there's lots you can do with your photo order form. As you might remember, we chose 5 to show on each page, and we've got pagination buttons at the bottom so that you can scroll between them. So that's a good way of providing all your photos from your shoot in a more user-friendly way. Finally, I'm going to show you how to create a hidden category for each of your photography clients. A lot of photographers need to do this because The client will, whether it's a couple at a wedding or a workplace having employee pictures done, or a family photo shoot, whatever. If you've an individual client has commissioned you to take photos for them, then you probably want to sell them in a confidential way on your own website. So to do that, you need the WooCommerce Password Protected Categories plugin, which I told you about at the beginning of this tutorial. Once you've installed WooCommerce Password Protected Categories, go back into the admin and you want to go WooCommerce Settings, Products, and then you'll also see a Password Protected Categories link here. So you add your license key and then you scroll down through the plugin settings. There aren't very many of them, so it won't take long. The most important ones here are the category visibility settings. You do not want to tick these boxes. If you tick these boxes, then people will have to enter a password in order to view your client-specific products. However, they will still appear on other parts of your site. And that is not appropriate because they are confidential photos that you've taken for a specific client. So leave these boxes unticked. You can choose how many days it will be before the client has to re-enter their password in order to access their images again. You can add it protected before the name of the category if you want to. Personally, I don't like that much. It doesn't look that professional to say protected first, but if you want that extra layer of reassurance for your customers that their content is hidden, you can do that. You can also select a page to use as your login page. So to do that, you create a normal page in WordPress and then you select a page from the list. I'm just looking through to see if I've created a suitable page. I'm going to choose login required. So when I go to my login required page, then that will have my login form on it. For the password form, you can rename this to whatever you want. So restricted photos, for message, type what you want here. Please enter password to view and purchase your photos. Password label, you can write whatever, enter. Lots of options there. Right, so you set up your form and you click Save Changes. The next step is to add some password protected categories. So let's go to Products Categories. And here you can see a list of all the categories. What you need to do is go to edit the category that you've already uploaded the photo products to. I know mine was called My Gallery, so I'm going to find that and I'm going to click on it. By default, the category is public. So what you need to do is find the visibility settings which are added by the WooCommerce Password Protected Categories plugin. What you need to do is select the password protected option and then you can call it let's call it client 20, it doesn't really matter. As you can see, you can add multiple passwords. So for example, for a wedding customer, you might want to give the bride and groom one password and another password they can give to their friends. I mean, it doesn't really matter, it's entirely up to you. You can give them the same password to give to all their friends so that they can all buy prints from the wedding and so on. It's your choice how to use the password protection, but that's how it works. So you add one or more passwords, you click password protected, and then you click update. So if we now navigate back to that category, so let's go to the view category option, you will see that our login page now appears. So it says, please enter a password to view and purchase your photos, which is the text that I added a minute ago on the settings page. So if the client then enters their password, they log in, they will be taken to the page showing the order form if you have added that order form layout to your category page template. Like I said, that's a little bit technical, so I recommend that to automatically show this layout on your category pages, you need to go to the plugin knowledge base for WooCommerce product table and find the article which tells you how to add product tables to the category archive template. And at that point, customer enters their password, logs in, and they arrive at the category page containing the order form products, just their products. And nobody else can see these products, it's just people with that password. So it's a really secure, user-friendly way for people to view your products and buy them. And that's it. Now you know how to very quickly upload lots of photos, as many as you like, to the WordPress Media Library. You know how to convert them into WooCommerce products, either simple products or variations with prices and quantities and everything. You also know how to display your photos in this nice order form layout so that customers can quickly choose options and buy the products very, very easily. And finally, you also know how to create a hidden category for each of your clients or each of your photo shoot sessions that you do, so that only the right people can view and buy the products. So it's user-friendly for your customers while also being secure, and it will save you a lot of time compared to other options. I hope that was useful to you. I'll put underneath in the description for this video, I will put links to the different products that I have recommended so that you can get them, and let me know if you've got any questions. Thanks for watching.